Why is it that there is one law for the rich and another for the poor? There are currently 3,250 people investigating benefit fraud, while there are only 300 HMRC people examining the fraud by wealthy tax dodgers, many of whom are donors to the Tory party. That's a shock, isn't it? Didn't expect that. The government wants you to believe the NHS is failing because it is free. Remember our future. How will allowing companies to profit save the people money? Privatisation, of course. I am legal again after 80 years. CBD, and next to that, Big Pharma. Pretty much sums it up. Mercury must be disposed of with hazmat suits, but it's perfectly safe in flu shots. As we can see, we've got Theresa May's Plan B here. 7 million teenagers use Ritalin and Adderall. What's the real gateway drug? FDA now wants to eliminate side effect warnings from drug ads in latest collusion with Big Pharma, because the FDA is just the control arm of the government to make sure that the drug companies make massive profits, even if it kills you. But hey, if you believe anything the FDA says, you're potty. It takes money to try to hold Big Pharma accountable. Chuck Norris sues 11 drug companies for poisoning his wife. Most of us are familiar with the actor Chuck Norris, hero of action shows and movies like Walker, Texas Ranger and Martial Law. Norris is famous for taking on the baddies and always winning. Now he may have taken on the biggest fight for his life, or the biggest baddies of them all. The Daily Mail recently reported that Norris and his wife Gina are suing 11 pharmaceutical giants, claiming that she has been fighting exhaustion, pain and weakness since undergoing 3 MRI scans as assesses her rheumatoid arthritis 5 years ago. The Norris family believe Gina is suffering from some disease. It's gadolinium depositation disease, condition triggered by the gadolinium dye used in MRI scans. Yemen's Prime Minister accuses UK of war crimes, and he's correct. The new Prime Minister of the rebel Houthi government in Yemen has accused the UK of war crimes. It comes amid reported discoveries of Britain-made weapons in bomb parts of the country. Yeah, but the Britain is a terror organisation. The government are terror organisations. MEP's expenses details to stay secret after EU court ruling. But if you've got nothing to hide, if you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to fear, have you? That's what they use against us. So obviously they're all corrupt. Pope condemns Strasbourg jihad massacre, never mentions Islamic as root cause. Yeah, he's one of them, we all know that. MPs demand smart motorway rollout be stopped over safety fears after crashes involving vehicles on the hard shoulder. Motorway scheme getting rid of hard shoulders should be stopped. MPs said all lane ruling ALR roads are crazy, according to campaigners against them. Tracy Crouch, Conservative MP for Chatham and Aylesford, wants the rollout paused until more is known about the possible danger to recovery workers. And it's not just that. They're not smart motorways, they're anything but. All they're doing is they've got this tube that goes up the middle, which means that when they change the speed limits, they can flick a switch and your car can't go above that. It's a dictatorship rollout, not smart. It's anything but smart. And it's also so they can charge you every mile you travel, because that's the plan. Robbers, and then robbers some more, and then when they finish robbing us, robbers again, because that's all government does. Theresa May's local force goes soft on hard drugs. Thames Valley Police will not punish those caught with heroin, cocaine and ecstasy under controversial new scheme. Initiative launched by Thames Valley Police is most lenient of its kind in England. Instead of arresting with drugs, officers will recommend an additional service. Critics last night condemned the project as a worrying example of soft justice. Whilst you get caught with cannabis, well, you're still going to get done, because that's got no side effects apart from curing cancer and making you happy. Britain faces the worst Christmas travel chaos for years as 229 miles of roadworks, strikes and major railway works are set to blight the festive getaway, with some journey times quadrupled. Christmas rail works hit 6 of UK's 7 main lines as 330 projects take place. Not by accident, this is by design. They've deliberately designed this way. 4 million Brits heading abroad over Christmas face long airport check-in lines. Frantic Friday will see 90 million vehicles jam roads, the AA has said. Festival shoppers will also have to deal with tube strikes on both northern and southern railways. But this isn't by accident, this is by design. They want chaos because they like chaos. They can bring in the New World Order out of the chaos. The roadworks should be scrapped during this period, just moved away and left the roads to normal. But no, they have more than ever, because they want the chaos. They want us pissed off. Well, they've not been paying attention, because I've got a feeling we're pretty much all pissed off with the governments. Mind the pay gap. London tube drivers on 100,000 a year salaries are earning more than airline pilots, despite their jobs getting easier, as staff who open and close automatic doors earn a 4% hike. Best paid driver in year of November received £103,374, 69% more than in 2012. Comes before strikes that will bring misery to travellers during Christmas period. Eye-watering total includes overtime bonus and TfL pension contribution. Right, we should all have one wage. No one gets any more or any less. £100,000 a year for everyone. No one gets more, no one gets less. The prices stay the same. No increase in prices, whether you work or not. Because a lot out there think that not working is easy. It's not. It's soul destroying. And even if we made wages outrule rate, no wage at all, we just work and we can go to the shops and get whatever we want for free. And some will say, well, nobody'd work. Everyone would still work, because they'd be bored shitless otherwise. But we could do 3 or 4 days a week, and that gives everyone else a chance to do 3 or 4 days a week, and everything will be so much better. That's just my idea. You can ignore it if you want. UK fracking policy faces court challenge. Friends of the Earth granted judicial review. It hopes will help alter planning rules. Ministers face a pair of legal challenges to their planning rules on fracking this week from a national environmental group and the son of fashion designer Vivienne Westwood. The government used its revamped planning rulebook to tell local authorities in July that they should recognise the benefits of shale gas and facilitate its extraction. It's nothing to do with extracting any gas, because none's been extracted. All it's to do with is poisoning the water table. It's another attempt to destroy the population of the UK. We're the only country in the world that allows fracking. So I guess we must be right then, eh? It should be allowed, even though all the other countries have banned it because it fractures the underground water tables and shit seeps into the water. You've seen it in America where there's like streams where you can put a match there and it's on fire. Failed by both its major parties, betrayed Britain lurches towards the abyss. There are no winners, only losers in this profound crisis in our politics. The seesaw is smashed, the pendulum is stuck, the ties are frozen, all the trusty images that used to help explain Britain politics have been scrambled. Because they're just a bunch of... I'm not going to... Macron ratings fall further after a month of Gillet Jones protest. French president will be forced to challenge his style of governing, says analyst. A month of Gillet Jones on yellow vest protests have taken a further toll on the popularity of President puppet Emmanuel Macron. A new poll showed on Sunday, with analysts saying he will be forced to change his style of governing. How about we don't have anyone governing? We get rid of them because they're just a bunch of corrupt bastards. Marlborough owner Altria invests 1.8 billion in cannabis company, Kronos. You see, they know that cannabis is where the money's going to be made, because it's blatantly obvious. It cures cancer, cures AIDS, cures arthritis, it cures so many things. So they're trying to make a killing of it before the crash. DBKL, you cannot renew your licence or road tax if your summonses are not settled. That'll be coming to over here soon. Just a few months ago, Kuala Lumpur City Hall, DBKL, offered discounts on traffic summonses to encourage motorists to settle their tickets quickly. However, it appears that a large number of drivers still have not paid what they don't owe anything, because parking tickets are just theft. Hence, some stern action will be taken against them. So basically, right, you can't have a driving licence, you can't get your car taxed if you don't pay your tickets. Can we see that it is a dictatorship yet? Private consultants paid at least 26 million in NHS shake-up. A BMA calls it unacceptable to see so much money flowing away from patient care. This is why the NHS is in such shit state, because it's run by, I was going to say idiots, but they're not. They're just stealing the money. Them at the top are just ripping the money out of the NHS by design, of course, with the blessing of the government, because they don't want a public NHS. This is another disgrace. Many pupils in England hungry and badly clothed, say teachers. Unions say school overwhelmed by funding cuts and increasing child poverty. They're trying to take us back to the Stone Age, and the schools are showing that that's exactly what's happening. Unless we get this government, all governments out, councils out, gone for good. Teachers have warned that growing levels of poverty across England are having a devastating effect on pupils, with more children going hungry and being unable to afford warm clothes this winter. This is Tory Britain. But it wouldn't matter if it was Labour Britain or Lib Dem Britain or a mixture of them. It wouldn't make no difference, because they are just there to, so you can, oh yeah, they're in that. No, the puppet controllers, they're all the time. This is why the same shit goes on. Doesn't matter who gets in, the same agenda's carried out regardless, because they're a bunch of dictators and they want rid of us. Hundreds of trafficked children lost by local authorities, councils. As nearly 25% go missing from council care, studies claim the system is failing victims of trafficking. No, it's not. It's working perfectly. It's what it was set up for, to traffic children to the paedophiles. A quarter of trafficked children who were in the care of local councils in the UK last year have gone missing from the system, according to new research by two British charities that work with vulnerable children. This isn't an accident. This is how it is designed, because they want the children trafficked to the paedophiles in the royals, in Parliament, in the councils, in the police, in the courts. That's what it's all about. Why do we put up with it when we can just stand up and say we've had enough of this? You lot, jail. Food bank opens at school after famished children start stealing from lunchboxes. This is an utter disgrace. And the fact that you're doing nothing about it just means that you don't care, I guess. At least I'm trying to get it out there. What to do? We should storm the council, storm Parliament, and stop it. Drag them out, lock them up, or anything else you want to do to them, because that's what needs to be done, because this is planned. This is planned. How school districts weaponise child protection services against uncooperative parents. You see, you don't cooperate, then they'll steal your children and pee them out, lose them. That's the sort of thing. And we're putting up with this. Why? I have no idea. Father, 26, accused of kidnapping a girl, 7, from Kmart and sexually assaulting her, and is being put in Australia's nastiest prison, where paedophiles are bashed on sight. Oh, you got to feel sorry for him, haven't you? No? Yeah, me neither. Sterling Mervyn, 3, is accused of kidnapping a girl, 7, from Kmart store. The 26-year-old allegedly took her to Bushland and sexually assaulted the girl. 3 will enter the prison system as a despised inmate with a target on his back. His lawyer says he will apply for bail after remanded in Arthur Gorrie prison. He needs a bashing. He needs more than a bashing, to be fair. But of course, they'll try and get him out. They'll probably manage it as well, because the courts are run by paedophiles. London police will be using facial recognition cameras on Christmas shoppers in Soho and Piccadilly Circus. Surveillance software will cover Soho, Piccadilly Circus and Leicester Square. The new software will see facial recognition camera targets Christmas shoppers. However, privacy campaigners have labelled the new technology authoritarian. Of course it is, but they plan to roll it out everywhere so that you can't go anywhere without them knowing about it. And this is coming to the UK soon. Macron had helicopter on standby to escape presidential palace during protests. Because at the end of the day, they're cowards. Utter cowards. And he knows his head's going to roll. French President Emmanuel Macron, the puppet of Rothschilds, was not only present at the Elysee Palace during Act 4 of the Gilets Jaunes Yellow Vests protest, but had a helicopter on standby to escape in case protesters broke in, according to reporters. They're all cowards when you confront them. Ambulance staff in Essex told not to take food breaks as demands soar. Why do we put up with this? The government are traitors and treasonous. Doesn't matter who's in. The councils, traitors and treasonous. You or I could run this country 1,000 times better than the traitors, treasonous bastards in Parliament and in councils. So why don't we just take it back from them, lock them up, and we'll run the country the way it should be run, with diligence, respect and love for all of mankind, not just the Bollinger guzzling, caviar eating twats in Parliament. The Times. Shops offer the do-it-for-me generation some handy home fixes. May urge to let MPs take control of Brexit. Allies call for parliamentary votes on all options. Tour de France cyclist beats Kane to BBC Sports Awards. Whoopie-doo. The Guardian. New EU vote would break faith with the people, May. When you look at the options we have, you have got to recognise there are a limited number of real-world options here. No, this is the simplest option. Get rid of government, get rid of councils, run it ourselves, and no expenses. If they want to do that job, they don't get expenses where the gas, electric and everything's paid for them, on top of the ridiculous wages they get. Garant's Glory Tour winners. Thomas is BBC Sports Personality of the Year. Workers get new rights for the gig economy era. Mirror. Stacey, my next big step. Oh, strictly bullshit. As BBC chiefs get huge rises, let's save free TV licence for over 75. Paedophile Brown joins Mirror to fight the Beebs plan. But wait a minute, the government control the BBC, so why don't they just say you're not doing it? Because they want you to think it's a separate corporation, not the propaganda arm of the government, when in fact we all know it is just that, the propaganda arm of the government, the betrayed, treasonous bastards in Parliament. Boris, public would feel betrayed by second vote. Repeating referendum risks reopening old divisions, former Foreign Secretary warns. But if we had a referendum, we voted to leave. It was simple, stay, leave. The vote was leave. So why haven't we left? Because they've got no plans of us ever getting out of this EU dictatorship. I never thought I'd have the courage to talk about self-harm. Badly behaved pupils driving teachers out of profession. Well, to be fair, they're not teaching anything, they're just indoctrinating them into a corrupt system. Jaguar Land Rover to cut thousands of jobs. Doctors call weekend surgeries a luxury. Give the gift of good health this Christmas. Don't give that watch. No, don't. Do your research. Been men told not to get their hands dirty. Biden, early Democrat White House favourite, the paedophile Joe Biden, who you've seen, just look it up on YouTube, you see him molesting kids in front of the public. The waste of paper, Star. Sugar's fired up by my bikini. Festive chaos warning, Christmas hampered. 3 storms set to strike, traffic facing gridlock, fighting Friday alarm. Cyclists go and go blah blah. So there's never anything to read in that piece of shit. Metro, tragedy of mother and kids dead in home blaze. Weekend GP appointments rolled out to early. Tube drivers earning more than 100k. Stacey, my new slip wasn't rude. Why Harry isn't going hunting and yeah, beat the cyclist thing. Battle in the number 10 bunker over second vote. PM's advisor plot new referendum behind her back, but she insists it would ruin public trust in politics. Well, I've got to give you that, it would, but I think you'll find it's already ruined in politics. We can all see you're a bunch of just Express. Christmas kindness, help but brave girl to walk. TV's Susanna joins mum in battle to beat loneliness. Don't dare steal our Brexit. Let's not break faith with British people, warns May as she fights to stop the new EU vote. Yeah, right, that's been the plan all along. But of course she'll have to go. Corbyn comes in, he'll have another referendum because he's a Remainer, even though we've had a referendum and we voted to leave and we've not left, so that tells you that referendums are pointless. Because they'll just have another one until you vote the way they want you to. Strictly winner Stacey to land primetime show. Strictly crap. Secrets of the High Priestess tomb. Stunning new discovery from ancient Egypt is one of a kind. Student loans shake up. Sixth formers with low grades set to lose funding for university. More brainwashing. Britain's quiet revolution in the war on drugs. Police are legalising personal use. At last, a plan to end the UK's Brexit impasse. Cabinet ministers pressure Theresa May to let MPs vote on all of the main options and end the deadlock in Britain's politics. Hammond, Rudd, Fox, Clark and Hinds urged PM to test solution in Commons. Rival cabinet faction will demand that Britain leaves EU without a deal. Momentum also builds for second referendum as government cabal plan new vote. Why? If we voted to leave and we haven't left, then that's treason. Have a second referendum where they'll fix it to remain, that's treason. Referendums don't work. That's blatantly obvious because we voted to leave and we haven't left. And there was never any way they were going to allow us to leave. And now they've bombarded us and they'll pressure us and then they'll get another referendum, guaranteed. Because they don't want us to leave. Because they want us tied into this dictatorship that is the EU. Looks through Mexico on a budget. Hayley Atwell, I want to play unlikable characters. Who made the pies? A cunning plan to cheer up lonely men. Financial Times. It would be risky for Liberals to bet on a recession. How Salvini has shifted Italian attitudes to Europe. McKinsey's computer game aims to catch tech-savvy. Free spirit. Kiev splits from Russian church. Jaguar Land Rover seeks to revive fortunes with job cuts in new year. Demand for diesel vehicles slides. Sales poor in China. Up to 5,000 posts at risk. It's do or die at the moment. JLR has been seriously mismanaged in recent years.